So today we are going to start with useful microorganism, that is yeast cell. Now students, yeast is a heterotrophic unicellular fungus. Heterotrophic means what? Heterotrophic means what, students? Anybody? Yes, very good, Shridi. Feeds on others. Okay. They are animals, or they are fungus which feed, they cannot prepare their own food. Autotrophic means what? Which feeds on their own, which can make their own food. Like plants are autotrophic. But yeast is what? Yeast is heterotrophic. Okay, heterotrophic. Then what else I said? Unicellular. What is the meaning of unicellular, students? Unicellular means what? Single celled. Correct. Single celled. Correct, Shribi? Having only one cell. Very good, Soumya. So this fungus, that is yeast, is having only one cell and it is heterotrophic. Okay. So I'm discussing the characteristics, how it is, how the yeast is, and it is a fungus. Okay. Having heterotrophic cell. Now, what is meant by heterotrophic cell or eukaryotic cell? What is this? Eukaryotic cell. The cell with proper nuclear membrane, nucleus, cell, cytoplasm, okay, cell wall, etc. That is called as eukaryotic cell. Okay? Most of the animals are having eukaryotic cell. Now it is on the carbon compounds. What is its food? The food of this yeast is nothing but carbon compounds. Okay, they feed on carbon compounds. Now, what is the color of this yeast? There is no particular color. Can you see any color of this yeast? No, it is colorless. Yes, what is the color? It is colorless and the shape is oval. What you can say about the shape? Shape of yeast? Oval. Okay. And how they reproduce? Okay, some of the cells, what they show, they are having small round buds attached to it. In the diagram, you can see a bud on the top. Yes, so that is a bud attached to it and they reproduce asexually by budding. So what we call it as? Which process it is? Budding. Very good, Raima. It is called as budding. So yeast cells are colorless and oval. And some of the cells, what they are having? Round buds attached to it. And how they reproduce? They reproduce asexually by budding. Okay. Now what else they can do? They can do fermentation. What they can do? They can do fermentation. So, you know, during the process of fermentation, the process of obtaining, it's a process by which it obtains its nutrition. Okay. Why they carry out fermentation? Yeast cells carry out fermentation during the process of obtaining their nutrition. Yes. So what they do, they basically what they will do, they will convert the carbohydrate into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Okay. So what they're doing, they're converting carbohydrates into alcohol and what else? Carbon dioxide. Okay. So in this way, yeast cell is very useful. And during the baking of bread, we are using this same fermentation process of the yeast. What we are using? This process of fermentation. And there are many other processes which involves fermentation. Okay. So that is about the yeast cell. Now there is a small activity given in your book, that is what you can do. You can bring some active dry yeast from the market. Okay. And mix the spoonful of yeast, 2 spoons of sugar with a sufficient quantity of water. How the water should be? Lukewarm water. In a bottle, what all things you will add? Active dry yeast From where we will get dry yeast? From the market. You have to purchase dry yeast, active dry yeast. Okay. Take 1 spoon of yeast and 2 spoon of sugar. Okay. Mix it with what? With water. What is the meaning of lukewarm water? Yes, that is warm water, little warm. Okay. So, and then mix all these things in the bottle. Okay. Then what you had to do? You had to take a balloon. You all are having balloons, right? You know what is a balloon. So you can take a balloon. Balloon should be colorless. It means not dark colored balloon. Okay, very light colored balloon, either light pink or white colored balloon, and it should be transparent. Okay, transparent balloon we are getting no in the market. That you can take and attach that balloon to the mouth of that bottle. Okay, so when we will attach it, hello students, can you see my screen? One second. So you have to take a balloon and attach to the mouth of the bottle. Correct? Now, what changes do you observe after 10 minutes that you have to observe? It is an experiment which you can do at home or at in the school also. Okay, whenever you will come back to. So what happens here? Mix lime water with the gas. Okay, which is accumulated in the balloon. Whatever gases comes out, no, in that gas, there is a reaction taking place. So some of the other gases will get accumulated in the balloon. So that all you have to collect it and collect that lime water, mix that gas with the lime water. Okay. And that all that lime water you should take in a beaker and observe it. What you will find that when you will observe it through the compound microscope, what you will find that there are colorless oval cells of yeast. Okay. So that cells of yeast, how they look like, I have told you already the characteristics. How the cells of yeast is, who will answer me? Come on. What is the shape of yeast cell? Raise your hand. I will unmute you and ask you. Who remembers the characteristic of yeast cell, which I already explained you. Okay, Bhakti is here. Bhakti, I have unmuted you.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Start saying the answer of what is the shape of the yeast cell?
The shape of the yeast cell is oval. It is colorless.
Okay. What
And
else you know about that?
it is heterotropic cell and
Okay.
unicellular
Hmm.
eukaryotic type of cell. And
Okay.
its reproduction part is reproduction form is budding.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Those are completed drawing the diagram, label it properly, then you show me the diagrams. Yes, Ruchi, you are completed. Show the diagram. Okay, I have seen Nandini Roy's diagram. Hitesh Yashwant Rao, I have seen your diagram. Ritik Sharma, I have seen yours. Other students, do it fast. Burvi, I have seen yours. Ayushi, I checked your diagram. Then Aditi. Raima, Samira, Divya. Okay, many are doing the diagram. They have done it very well. Sanchit, Ruchi, Janvi, Shamli. Those have shown me, you can off your web camera so that others can start the web camera and show me. Yes, Shabrish as seniors, Shivam, Shraddha Patil. Okay. Okay, fine. So maximum students are completed. Devanshri, Om Shirke, Rajesh, Hari Shetty. Okay, fine. Latika and all. Okay, fine. Good, good, good students, good participation. All have drawn the diagram. So now this was the third diagram which you had drawn. Okay. First you have started with what? Lactobacilli, which was a useful bacteria. Then you have drawn rhizobium. Now you have drawn the yeast cell. Okay. Now I'm going to share my screen. Wait a second. Okay, students, what are antibiotics? They are carbon compounds which are obtained from some fungus and from bacteria. Why they are used? For destroying or preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms. So what you can say about antibiotics? What are antibiotics? They are carbon compounds obtained from some bacteria and fungi for destroying or preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms. Okay, harmful microorganisms are there. Okay, so they will keep on growing and they will cause diseases. So we should kill them or we should avoid their growth. For that, what we need? We need antibiotics. Okay, so in my screen, you can see two types of antibiotics. Yes, what are they? Broad spectrum and narrow spectrum. Okay, so antibiotics was discovered in 20th century. But it has brought some good revolution in the field of medicine. There were diseases like TB, tuberculosis, that has been completely eradicated. Okay, from many countries because of this, the antibiotics. Okay, so antibiotics, what they do basically, they act against the bacteria. Some antibiotics even can destroy protozoa. Can do, they can destroy protozoa. So some are very useful. Okay, there are many variety of bacteria, you know. So some antibiotics are useful against these bacteria. Okay, some antibiotics are very much useful against this bacteria. That's what we call them as broad spectrum. What is the name? Broad spectrum, because they are useful for wide variety of bacteria. That means many different varieties of bacteria. For example, ampicillin. Okay, what is broad spectrum? What are the examples? Ampicillin, amoxicillin, and tetracycline. Okay, ampicillin, amoxicillin, and tetracycline. All these are what? Broad spectrum antibiotics. What they do? They will act against wide variety of bacteria. Now next, when the pathogen cannot be identified, suppose the pathogens or these enemies, okay, which are not identified, even though through the symptoms. Suppose if you're having any disease, you are having that symptoms of that disease, like you will get fever, you will get cold, cough, etc. If that is not visible, broad spectrum antibiotics, we can use it. Okay, so for that it is used. So whenever any pathogenic microorganism is definitely known, whenever you know that there is a microorganism, okay, that time what we can use? Narrow spectrum antibiotic. For example, you can see in my screen, narrow spectrum antibiotics. Example is penicillin, gentamicin, erythromycin. So examples also you should remember, students, the types and examples of antibiotics. Okay, so that this way, this narrow spectrum antibiotics is used only for a particular pathogenic microorganism. Okay, whereas broad spectrum antibiotics for what? For wide variety of microorganisms. Okay, I hope you understood what is this antibiotics. Okay. So now once again, I'll repeat, antibiotic is a carbon compound which is obtained from some bacteria and fungi. And why we are using it? To destroy or prevent the growth of harmful microorganisms. We are now going to learn about harmful microorganisms. So if you want to kill that harmful microorganisms, what we need? We need antibiotics. Correct? Now antibiotics are of two types. What are they? Broad spectrum and narrow spectrum. Broad spectrum is used for what? It is useful against wide variety of bacteria. There are many different types of bacteria. So for that we have to use broad spectrum. Example is ampicillin, amoxicillin, and tetracycline. Whereas what is narrow spectrum bacteria? Sorry, narrow spectrum antibiotic. It is used for specific microorganism, pathogenic microorganism, which we know, which we definitely know. Okay, like we are having penicillin, gentamicin, and erythromycin. Okay, fine, students. I hope you all understood what are antibiotics and what are the two types of antibiotics. Okay, who is going to answer what are antibiotics and name the types of antibiotics? Don't raise your hand. You can type your answers in the chat box. Give the answers in the chat box. Okay, now let us continue. Let us know about Dr. Alexander Fleming. Okay, anybody knows about him? Yes. What he discovered, students? Penicillin. Very good, Ayushi. So he was the first, discovered the first antibiotic, that is penicillin. Accidentally, he discovered it, and this formed the basis for attempts to find the cures for incurable disease. So there were many incurable diseases that was cured by using this penicillin. So penicillin is nothing but a group of antibiotic which is obtained from a fungus. Okay. Penicillium and is used for controlling the infections caused by bacteria like Staphylococcus, Clostridia, Streptococcus, etc. So these are the names of bacteria: Staphylococcus, Clostridia, and Streptococcus. So medicines containing penicillin, they are useful to treat certain bacteria. Okay. So they are used to treat certain bacterial infections. Like we are having, sometimes we have the bacterial infections in the ears, in the nose, in the throat, in the skin. So all these diseases, even there are disease called scarlet fever, pneumonia. Okay. So for all these things, what we need antibiotic. And that can be cured by penicillin. Penicillin is an antibiotic. Okay. So that will help in curing these diseases, infections and diseases. I hope it is very much clear to all of you. So during such time, food poisoning occurs in community feast. How does the food becomes poisonous all of a sudden? Anybody knows? Yes, because of the bacteria, harmful microorganism. Okay, like bacteria can spoil cooked food. Sometimes food might be cooked and kept it for a long duration like that. So that time what happens is bacteria will attack it. That is nothing but Clostridium. What you can call that harmful bacteria? Clostridium. You can see the diagram on my screen. Yes. So out of about 100 different species of this bacterium, some are free living. Free living means what? They can live in anywhere, okay, in the soil. Whereas some live in the alimentary canal of humans. Alimentary canal is the canal which starts from the mouth till the stomach, okay, till the so our food passes through the alimentary canal, food and water. It's the food pipe. So in that also sometimes this bacterium will survive. So this bacteria, what is the shape of this bacteria? Can anybody tell me from the diagram? What is the shape of this bacteria, students? Rod shape. Very good, Ayushi. They are rod shaped. And what they produce? They produce bottle shaped endospores. Okay. So they are producing bottle shaped endospores. Okay, so these bacteria are rod shaped and they produce bottle shaped endospores in adverse conditions. That means when the condition is very bad, situation is bad, like there is very climate is very much cold or climate is very some during summer season, etc. and all. During that time, what happens? These bacteria will produce bottle-shaped endospores, and one special characteristic of this bacteria is that they cannot withstand normal oxygen level of the air. So because of that, they will grow in anaerobic condition. Yesterday I explained you what is the meaning of aerobic and anaerobic. Anybody remembers what is meant by anaerobic? Anaerobic means what? Anyone? Yes, Avdut, say the answer. Write the answer in the chat box. What is mean by anaerobic? Very good. They will not use oxygen. Very good, Soumya. So in the absence of oxygen, okay, in the absence of oxygen, if the organism is growing, what we call it as anaerobic condition. Correct. So that is how Clostridium grows. Okay. Now these are also some of the species of Clostridium. Now you can see here, the first one is Clostridium botulinum. And the second one is Clostridium difficile. Okay, so in my slide, you can see blue color Clostridium, that is what? Clostridium botulinum. That is the scientific name of this species, Clostridium species. Okay, and the next one is Clostridium difficile. Okay, and here I showed you that one. The first one is Clostridium tetani, and the second one is Clostridium perfringens. Okay, so 4 species they have shown, right? Okay, students, now it's time to answer some of the questions in the chat box. Give the answers in the chat box. Toxins of fungal origin are called dash. Very good. The answers are correct. Mycotoxins. Leguminous plants can produce more proteins due to dash. Leguminous plants can produce more proteins due to dash. Very good, Jyoti. Rhizobium. Answer is correct. Rhizobium. Okay. So first answer was yeast reproduces asexually by dash method. What was the first answer? By budding method. Correct. So because I told you, na, budding is what? Asexual method of reproduction in yeast. So whenever favorable condition comes, what happens? Yeast will start growing rapidly with the process of budding. Correct. Next is toxins of fungal origin are called mycotoxins. What they are called? Mycotoxins. Okay. So there are different species of fungus which can secrete mycotoxins. Mycotoxins means what? It is very poisonous and it is a harmful substance. Okay. So fungal hyphae will absorb this nutrients from the food materials, and at the same time what they will release? They will release the mycotoxins into the food. So food will become very much toxic. Third is leguminous plants can produce more proteins due to dash, due to rhizobium. Correct. because rhizobium is a symbiotic bacteria and it lives in the root nodules of leguminous plants. So it's a revision for you students. Already all this have been explained to you. Okay. So the reason also you can write why, if suppose a question comes in this way, complete the statement using the proper option from the given and explain the statement. So that time this is fill up. Okay. Suppose if the question comes in that way, you have to explain it also. Why we are using rhizobium. Okay. Leguminous plants can produce more proteins due to rhizobium. Why? Because rhizobium is a beneficial symbiotic bacteria. Okay, fine students. Okay, now answer this question. That is, you have to write the names of microbes found in the following food material. Yogurt. In yogurt, which bacterium, which microbe is present? Everyone has to give the answers in the chat box. Yes, very good students. Lactobacilli. You all are right. Bread. Next question, bread. Yes, very good. Yeast. Answer is yeast. Very good, Siddhant. Very good, Ashwin, Siddesh, Prachi. All are typing. Very good. Okay, next, root nodules of leguminous plants. Root nodules of leguminous plant. You have to write the name of the microbe which is present in the root nodule of leguminous plant. Yes, Shabrish, you are correct. Rhizobium. Very good, Anup. Rhizobium. What is the answer for the third question? Rhizobium. Fourth one, idli. Yes, Shamili, you are correct. Yeast cell. Very good, Siddhant. The answer is right. In idli, which useful microbe is present? Yeast. In dosa, again, yeast. Very good. Samriddhi, Rafat, Sanchit. Correct. Spoiled potato curry. Spoiled potato curry. Yes, very good, Shabrish. In spoiled means what? It is not good for eating. Yes, no. So it will be harmful microorganism. Today I explained you which harmful microorganism? Clostridium. Very good, students. Very good, Kavita. Many have given the answers. I'm not going to name all the students. Some of the students I've seen the chat box that okay. Samriddhi close has given Clostridium. Correct. So I once again I'll repeat the answer. All of you listen to the answers. The yogurt, lactobacilli, bread, yeast, root nodule of leguminous plants, rhizobium, idli, yeast, dosa, yeast, spoiled potato curry, Clostridium. I hope everyone have noted the answers. Those who have not given the answers in the chat box. Okay, now the next question is, identify the odd man out. Pneumonia, diphtheria, chickenpox, cholera. You have to identify the odd word out and say why it is odd one. So when you are typing the answers in the chat box, you type answer and write the reason why you selected that particular answer as odd one. Yes, very good, Siddesh. Your answer is right. cholera is the right answer. And the reason which you are given, that is also correct. That is, all others are diseases of respiratory system. Okay, pneumonia, diphtheria, these all are respiratory diseases, whereas cholera is not a respiratory disease. Okay, not affecting the respiratory system. Lactobacilli rhizobia yeast clostridia, which is the odd man here? Yes, very good, students. Clostridium is the odd man because all others are useful microorganisms. Very good. Third question. Root rot, rust, rubella, mosaic. Yes, the answers some are right. Ruchi, your answer is right. Rubella is the odd one. Okay, because rubella is a viral disease of human beings, whereas others are what? Plant diseases. Okay, so root rot, rust, and mosaic, these all are called as plant disease, whereas rubella is not a plant disease. So some of the questions and answers I shared to you. Okay, so now the last one, that is answer the following question. Last 5 minutes left. What are broad spectrum antibiotics? What is fermentation? And define antibiotic. Don't write in the notebook, just write in the chat box.